mynews.studio.
At the southern tip of South America, Chile has just turned what used to be a whaling base into a huge sanctuary. Could this become a blueprint for protecting endangered species elsewhere?
Today is February 3rd, 2026. Chile has officially created Cape Froward National Park, a new protected area covering 150,000 hectares at the continent's edge. That's a big step, but what exactly is being safeguarded here?
The park includes subantarctic forests, peatlands, and important marine habitats. It's become a haven for endangered animals, pumas, huemul deer, even whales, and the park completes a 2,800-kilometer wildlife corridor. That's a huge area for animal migration.
A corridor that long, 2,800 kilometers, is quite something. But how did this area actually become a park? Was the land always public?
Not entirely. Over 127,000 hectares were donated by Rewilding Chile, a conservation group. The rest was already owned by the government. The park itself is on the Brunswick Peninsula, about 62 kilometers southwest of Punta Arenas.
This is also traditional land for the Kaweskar people, isn't it? How did the process account for their rights and interests?
That's a crucial part of the story. Before the park was formalized, there were required indigenous consultations and public feedback. The Kaweskar, who have a long history as nomadic seafarers, successfully negotiated co-administration rights with CONAF, Chile's forestry agency.
Co-administration, what does that look like day to day? How are the Kaweskar actually involved?
It means they share decision-making over tourism, how resources are used, and protecting cultural sites. So they're not just in an advisory role. They have real authority. This shift includes new opportunities, like jobs in guiding and ecotourism.
I imagine there must have been disagreements during those talks. Was the process as smooth as it sounds?
Actually, there were real concerns. Some were worried about losing access to traditional fishing grounds or damage to cultural sites. Early proposals didn't fully include the marine areas that are essential to Kaweskar life.
How did they work through those problems? Did it slow things down?
Yes, it did cause delays. But through joint studies, impact assessments, and changes to the park's boundaries, those worries were addressed. Now, Kaweskar involvement isn't just a one-time consultation, but a permanent part of how the park is managed.
Setting aside the indigenous side for a moment, what does the park mean for local jobs or the economy?
The park should bring new types of work, like ecotourism, tour guiding, scientific research. There's also research underway on kelp forests and blue carbon, which could lead to more sustainable ways to manage resources and benefit the local community.
If we step back, Chile's approach here seems different from what you see in the US or Europe. What stands out about their rewilding model?
One big difference is how private land donations and government action are combined, with strong emphasis on involving local people and indigenous groups right from the start. Infrastructure is put in place and local needs are addressed before the area becomes a national park.
And Rewilding Chile is connected with Tompkins Conservation, right? Why is this public-private partnership so important?
It allows for faster progress and larger conservation projects than government alone could manage. Plus, it builds trust with local communities because the process isn't imposed from above. President Boric now wants to expand this model to protect more land and marine areas across Chile.
What lessons can other countries take from Chile's approach? Is this model something that could work elsewhere?
Key takeaways: make indigenous co-management a priority, get support from local communities, and set up infrastructure before transferring land. Other countries could adapt this by encouraging public-private partnerships and focusing on both land and sea conservation for climate and economic gains.
So, Cape Froward is more than just a park. It's an example of conservation, indigenous rights, and local economies all working together. Given the challenges of biodiversity loss and climate change, does this show a real path forward for others?
That's the intention. By setting an example of large-scale, climate-resilient conservation, Chile is demonstrating how to balance development with environmental care. It's one of the few cases where ecological restoration, economic opportunity, and indigenous empowerment happen at the same time.
So, to sum up, Cape Froward National Park protects rare ecosystems and threatened species, secures shared management with indigenous communities, and uses a joint public-private approach that could guide conservation worldwide.
And as the pressures on nature and climate increase, models like this could become essential. Could this finally help connect conservation with the needs of local communities?
Thanks for joining us for a close look at Cape Froward and the changing landscape of rewilding.
Thank you for listening. This episode was produced by mynews.studio. Give it a try for free.